Hi, everybody. Welcome to What You're Reading, where youth services librarians from around DeKalb County talk about our quarantine reads. My name is Fran, and I am from the North Lake Library.
Hi, my name is Mia, and I'm excited because this week I'm actually at the Decatur Library.
And I'm Nicole. I'm from the Harrison Crossing Library.
And as you may know, if you're a DeKalb County patron, our libraries are reopening for contactless pickup. Sometimes we will be working from home, sometimes we'll be working from inside of the library, and sometimes we may have duties that make it so that we can't record these videos, so you may not see all of us every week. Shout out to Angela, who wasn't able to make it this week, and I hope that we see her next week. This week, we are talking about some of our fantasy reads that we're either reading for the first time or revisiting during quarantine and stay at home. I'm going to go first. This is one of my favorites. Unlike Mia, fantasy's not my genre. Mia's like our fantasy expert on the panel. I tend to read low fantasy, fantasy that takes place in the real world and just has fantastical elements, or there's another world that's happening in unison with the regular world, sort of like Narnia the Magicians, that sort of a feel. The book that I chose has that sort of dynamic going on. This is called The Rest of Us Just Live Here. It's by Patrick Ness, who you might know from the Monsters of Men trilogy, from some of his other works. I really, really love him. He's one of my favorite authors. And I super, super love this book. So this book is specifically about sort of that chosen one trope, but it's sort of about what if there was more than one chosen one? What if your high school was populated with like maybe 24 chosen ones, and everything was always about their adventures and whoever they're, encountering in forests and the big bad that they're trying to vanquish. And you're just trying to go to prom and graduate, and you just want to become an accountant, and you're not here for it. You don't have special powers. You don't actually care. You're trying to get through the day. And that's what this book is about. It's about 4 teens specifically who are good friends, and they're non-magical adventures. They don't have special powers. But they do still have some pretty serious problems. One of them, I believe, has some type of anxiety disorder. I'm not sure, can't remember if it's actually named as OCD, but it's very similar to OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. And others have just other things going on in their life. It's just sort of a reminder that, yeah, in fantasy, like those chosen one problems can seem really serious, but the issues that regular teens go through every day are serious as well. And I like that juxtaposition. This is available on Overdrive in audiobook and ebook. It's checked in right now in both of those, and it's also available if you've got Google checkouts left over for July. It's also available on ebook and Hoopla. Another thing to mention, since we are doing contactless pickup, we've already started at half the branches are starting next week. If you wanted to get it in paper format, this book actually glows in the dark. So it's a good one to get in paper format. I can't really show you here, but everything that's white pretty much on the cover glows in the dark. I found that out when I went to bed one night with it beside my bed table, and it was luminescent. So that's another cool perk about getting the book copy.
Oh, wow. Now I want to check it out just for a nightlight. So the one I have is called My Lady Jane, and it's got several authors, Cynthia Hand, Brodi, Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. According to the narrator, it's historical fiction, but I feel like since the main characters all change into animals, that it counts as fantasy. It is great. It takes the story of Lady Jane and how she was, if you don't know from history, she actually was a real person, and she ruled for about a week before being, I think, was she beheaded maybe? Yeah, I think she was, yeah. So this is sort of the true, according to them, the true story of what really happened. It's hilarious. I cannot tell you how much I love this audiobook. I was obsessed with it. But it's one of those audios that you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it, because it's very dramatic reading of it, and the author has like such personality. I mean, the person who's doing the voice has such personality that I feel like you're either going to love it or you're not going to love her. But I loved it. It was so entertaining. Like I would just literally drive around during quarantine because I can only do audios when I'm driving, just so I could hear the rest of the story. And then Fran just told me that this one's a trilogy. Jane Eyre, she has one from Jane Eyre too. They're all Janes, but a new one's coming out. Yeah, that's all Marys, right? So I can't wait. You can, again, do this one. I don't think it's available on, I know it's not available on Hoopla, but that could change next month. But you can do the contact-free delivery. I encourage it. It's amazing. It's funny. It's got a little twist, and I just loved it. Yeah.
And it was a Peach nominee like a couple years back as well when it came out.
Oh, it was? Okay.
The first time.
Oh.
I've never read it, but I'm going to.
It's so good. I mean, I was like literally in the car laughing. Like it's funny. It's just hilarious. And then it has a little bit of history sort of thrown in there. You have to, realize that not all of it's true.
I love that. Thank you. I'm totally gonna read that. All right.
I can't wait to hear about yours.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm rounding us out with one that I just finished, and it's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, and it's the newest in the Hunger Games. And this is a prequel. So this happens before the Hunger Games books that you've read, and it's all about Cornelius Snow. So if you are a little bit rusty on your Hunger Games, Cornelius Snow is the leader of District 1. And so this, yes, exactly, Fran. So this book is available right now on Hoopla. Guys, there is no wait for this book. You can check it out in audiobook right now on Hoopla, and you can listen to it, which is exactly what I did. So it's available as an e-audiobook on Hoopla. It also, because we're doing contact free, we have it as a physical book, and there's only 30 people waiting on 44 copies. So you could always place a hold for the physical book. Because on Overdrive right now, there's 198 holds on 28 digital books. So I would suggest either Hoopla or a physical copy right now. But like I said, it's about Cornelius Snow, and he begins the 10th annual Hunger Games as an 18-year-old, and he is one of the first, what are they called? Like the people who help, the mentors.
Okay.
Yeah. So he and his class become the first mentors, and it's kind of like how they shaped the Hunger Games into the Hunger Games that we know today. But there are so many twists and turns in it, and like how it ends. You know who falls on top, which is Snow, which is another trope throughout the entire book. But it was so good. If you love like the Hunger Games series, this was a fabulous prequel. And honestly, it made me go back and watch all the movies again. Go back and read all the books again, too. But like I said, it's available on Hoopla. So use one of your checkouts on Hoopla to listen to this. I promise you will not be disappointed.
I guess, too, if you don't have any left, Saturday, it starts over. So you can...
It's like I get very excited at the beginning of a month now because my checkouts renew. Okay, that's all that we have this week. We'll put links to all of those in the comments, including links to our catalog now that we're open. And contactless pickup is going to be an option. We'll put links to those. Also, a link to our press release kind of explaining how contactless pickup works if you need more information about that. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and healthy, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.